My dad wanted to save electricity, so I took it too far. What is the most creative way you have ever followed your parents' rules just to drive them absolutely crazy? Growing up, my dad was a literal drill sergeant about energy conservation. If you left a room for even 2 seconds and didn't flip the light switch, you were grounded. No TV, no phone, nothing. He called it building financial discipline. By the time I turned 16, I was completely over it. If he wanted a house obsessed with saving electricity, oh, I was going to give it to him. But I didn't just turn off lights. I went full apocalypse survival mode. It started on a Tuesday. I walked into the living room where my dad was watching the evening news. Without saying a single word, I marched over to the windows and ripped the heavy curtains wide open. Then, I flipped off the main light switch, plunging him into total twilight. My dad blinked, looking around, totally confused. "Hey, what are you doing?" he asked. I just stared at him, completely deadpan, and said, "Harnessing the raw, free power of the sun, Father. Why use standard electricity when daylight is totally free?" He just sighed and went back to his show. But I was just getting started. The next night, my mom was reading a book on the couch. I walked in, flipped the lights off, and handed her a single burning candle. "To preserve our financial discipline, Mother," I whispered. Then I blew out the match and vanished into the shadows. By Thursday, the entire house was a psychological war zone. My masterpiece happened during family dinner. My dad reached for the microwave to warm up the bread, but as soon as he touched it, he realized it was completely unplugged. In fact, every single appliance in the kitchen was unplugged. He looked at me, his eye twitching. "Why is the microwave unplugged?" I stood up, crossed my arms, and said, "Phantom electricity, Father. Even when turned off, appliances bleed cash from your wallet. I am merely guarding the perimeter." My mom just stared at her cold soup, completely speechless. But the absolute breaking point came over the weekend. My dad walked into the kitchen at midnight to grab a glass of water. Suddenly, a blinding, high-powered beam of light hit him, right in the eyes. It was me, sitting quietly at the kitchen table, wearing a full-on miner's helmet with a military-grade LED headlamp strapped to my forehead. My dad blocked his eyes, groaning. "What on earth are you doing?" I looked at him, completely serious, and said, "I am navigating the household safely, without raising our utility bill by a single fraction of a cent. I am the eco-warrior." He just stood there in the dark, processing the sheer madness, until he finally cracked. "Fine," he yelled. "You can leave the bathroom light on. Just turn that ridiculous thing off, please." I won. Now, whenever he complains about the bills, I just click my headlamp, look him in the eye, and whisper, "Discipline."